the $3 trillion in the stock market, the $300 billion in new jobs announced with all the foreign factories from Hasbro to Ford to you name it, announcing they're coming back. Hundreds and hundreds of companies. First off, there is this new hoax being pushed by the controlled corporate media, the discredited corporate media, who have a 7% approval rating in Gallup. But they're still able to unify their fraud and put out some hoaxes, like saying Trump wasn't being spied on by Obama when Obama was bragging in the news. They had the intercepts when he wasn't even out of office yet. Well, their newest one is Trump's first move, less than 70 days into office, was to repeal Obamacare, and he failed when it took Obama more than 2 years to pass Obamacare. And, oh, Obamacare is called Obamacare, not Trump care. And listen, I know you as an audience know that, but when you sit back and look at the branding, it hit me like a ton of bricks over the weekend. That they are so bold to be breathlessly on every cable network, including Fox, that is becoming rabidly anti-Trump, anti-America. Because it's globalist owned. Rupert Murdoch's a Democrat. I mean, let's just be honest about it. They are frothing, saying, oh, the big deal maker, he's a failure, he's a nobody. On and on and on. Because he didn't get this through, and now they've got Republicans like Paul Ryan, who's a total Judas goat, who lost on purpose, who brought something forward bad on purpose. Pat Buchanan's written an article about it. He's dead on. They have the nerve to then sit there and say that Trump's a failure when all he's done is deliver on his promises. Do I need to list those again? The Trump recovery, the $3 trillion in the stock market, the $300 billion in new jobs announced with all the foreign factories from Hasbro to Ford to you name it, announcing they're coming back. Hundreds and hundreds of companies building a wall. Mexico has a wall. You turn on the news, it's like the evil, the horribleness. Our country just isn't open to anybody that wants to come here. And then you've got all these Mexican bishops saying it is an act of treason against Mexico to build a wall if you're Mexican in America, saying we're Mexico, we're taking over, which is just crazy. You think Mexico would put up with that from Guatemala? Then there's these arguments about Guadalupe Hidalgo and the treaty. I know the whole history. Mexico, Russia had California for a while, claimed parts of California. Does that mean Russia gets it? There's been 6 flags over Texas. Everybody fought over it. Mexico only had a claim for, what, a decade? Mexicans who helped build Trump wall, traitors, top archdiocese says. The point is that the globalists have taught Western nations to not be tribal, to not be nationalist, to not be race-based. And that fits into the Christian cosmology, so it's worked here, nowhere else. Nowhere else are people not completely nationalistic and racist, but in the West. I mean, go to other countries, go to Africa, go to Latin America. Find out for yourself. People look just the same in Venezuela, bordering another country. They'll go to soccer games and kill each other all day long. That's what humans do. Christianity's tried to stop this, and it's being used against us. Because you can go to African areas that are Christian, high productivity, everybody getting along comparatively. You go to European areas, getting along if they're Christian. You go to anywhere where there's Christian majority, prosperity, getting along, and you can have multiracial unity. You go anywhere else, it doesn't exist. And that's what's so crazy about saying everything's racist. There's a Tucker Carlson clip. Liberals have no answer when asked why enforcing immigration laws is racist. Everybody else has them. We have some of the most open laws in the country, and we're being exploited. And then people are frothing in race-based garbage that they've been programmed by. We have the WikiLeaks with the Democratic Party heads saying, let's use racial politics. Let's accelerate culture war. They're the racists, not even the idiots that are involved in the racism on the ground, whether it's some La Raza person or some idiot KKK person. It's all the same propaganda, just from a different perspective. But I digress. I want to get to the really big news here in a moment. But here is the Mexican contractor, who's an American, by the way, on why he wants to be part of building the wall. Here it is.
Michael Evangelista Yisasaga is a lawyer turned titan of the Texas construction industry. And for him, building this wall isn't about what you might think.
You're Hispanic. 80% of your workers are Hispanic. Was it difficult to approach this project?
It was. We had to do a lot of soul searching. This is a hot button issue. People are very adamant on one side or the other. There's really hardly anyone in the middle. The whole reason that we decided to do this project is because of the concerns that we had where other companies were proposing more lethal designs.
So you're talking about like the electrified fences and the use of electricity.
Yeah, things like that. Very concerning for us as a company.
Michael has been an advocate for fixing the immigration policy for years. He's quick to point out undocumented immigrants commit less crimes than the rest of the population, and most are here to work. He thinks a wall could actually be a path to immigration reform.
Our hope is that by securing our borders, enforcing the laws on the books, we will finally have the appetite to pass new laws, comprehensive immigration reform, to bring these people out of the shadows.
So step one, build the wall. Step two, start talking about immigration reform.
Step one has to be securing our borders.
Because you're not a country and can't dictate who you are. But see, because illegals are fed on by other illegals that commit crime, there are so many studies, it'll make your head spin, that the claim that immigrants to the country have lower crime rates is just not true, ladies and gentlemen. If it's the people coming to be legal or coming illegally to work, statistically it's true, lower crime rates. But you add the people coming here as criminals to commit crimes, it's the happy hunting ground. That's why you see people, arrested 15+ times, rape, arson, you name it, released, because there's this attitude, just let folks go, they're already basically undocumented. The system gives it a pass, and everybody knows that. But the point is that you can't have the big foundations and the universities brainwashing everybody that comes in to have the chip on their shoulder and to hate America and to hate white people. Until that brainwashing stops, you have to stop the massive flood, legal or illegal, because of the brainwashing. This is very simple. You look at Europe, where they won't even let you have on the news that a Muslim raped somebody, and then it turns out upwards of 80% are on welfare and are committing 80+% of the rape, because it's the culture that if a woman's unattended and not wearing a hood over her head, you're allowed to rape her. And then if she goes and complains, she gets charged. That's a fact in almost every Muslim nation but Iran and more reform places like Jordan or Iraq before it got blown up. Rape got prosecuted in Iraq. In fact, they would execute you for it. But see, not anymore. I'm going to skip this break so we have more time here, but I'm going to be breaking all this down today because we don't have an identity as a nation of a Bill of Rights, Constitution, private property, and Christianity. We don't have a state-run religion, but if we don't have the identity of what made us great, then we're just more dirt. And the globalists can come in and create their new political system. And what is that new political system? If someone has the name Lynch, they're asking them not to name buildings after donors that say Lynch. It's an Irish name. It has nothing to do with lynching. There was a Lynch case where a family hung their son because they thought he was corrupt. Hence the term lynching. And now they're saying you can't have that on license plates or other names that are offensive. And then soon, it's like the new economy is find things that are offensive, let's ban those. And pretty soon there's no free speech left for anybody. It really is a cult. Meanwhile, if you're a Mexican, the #1 thing facing you and your family is the Gardasil vaccine in Mexico. And if, again, I didn't like Mexicans, or humans for that matter, I would not be saying a word about it. But La Raza and Mecha will not say a single word about how every Mexican girl, under their government's orders in the last 5 years, is being hunted down and being forcibly given Gardasil shots that are absolutely linked from their testing to their rollout to infertility and to massive cancerous meltdowns of the ovaries and of the uterus. Folks, it is a cancer virus. 4,000 women die a year of human papillomavirus. And that's with jacked up numbers. Go look at the statistics for yourself. The number of deaths. But again, ladies and gentlemen, they're exploiting the third world population that they're targeting and hammering. But then they're also using those populations to come in and engage in economic warfare and siege. You take Chinese coming into the country, historically the most homogeneous group in the world, historically one of the most racist groups in the world towards outside groups. Chinese folks, hey, great, once they're Americanized. But you bring in the biggest immigrant group is now Chinese, and they brag, we're coming here to have our babies free. We are coming here to exploit this. We're coming here to get the free college, whatever. And it's just a joke what America has turned into. But you use the Christian guilt cosmology, and you use that on somebody. I don't care what color they are. If they have a Christian background, they roll over to it. It's being manipulated, it's being exploited, and it's disgusting. Let's go to Debit in Florida. Debit in Florida, you're on the air.
Great. Hey, thank you so much. Listen, I have bought your product, and I gotta say they're amazing. Anyone who's on the fence, buy it, because I've got Caveman, Superman Vitality, Secret 12, Vitamin Mineral Fusion. I've got the body armor.
Wow, thank you.
Wow.
You're the type of listener that makes it all possible. Which nutraceutical does you like best?
I really like the Vitamin Mineral Fusion, to be honest. That's
amazing.
Really incredible. I drank it in the morning, and I swear to you, I felt incredible. Like I haven't felt in weeks. My morning was fantastic, and I love you guys. I love the InfoWars crew, and I just want to I want to take this opportunity to tell anybody out there who's on the fence. Just buy it. You will love it. I'm telling you, I've never bought a bad product.
What you find in our news is the same thing you find in our products at InfoWarsLife.com. It's a win-win, InfoWarsLife.com.